Today we're going to get to see something very few people ever get to see outside of the professional theme park entertainment industry. We are going inside of a haunt maze behind the scenes with the lights on at not just any haunt, but the granddaddy of them all. As you may have heard, Knott's Scary Farm is having its 50th anniversary this year. 50 years of screams and terror and fright and fog. And for the second time, we get to go behind the scenes with one of the maze's creators and writers, one of the people who works on these things, and find out just how much there is to the backstory, to the lore, to the building, the construction, to the design of these things. I found it very fascinating, and I think you will too. Let's head on down to Knott's Scary Farm one more time. All right, here we are in front of Waxworks with my friend Jeff Tucker. Jeff Tucker, who are you and what do you do here?
I am a show director here at Knott's Scary Farm. This year I directed 2 shows, The Hanging, uncanceled, and Dr. Cleaver Returns.
And in The Hanging, you got a special appearance by Pee Wee Herman, and you let me do the voice.
Yes. When I decided to do an homage to Pee Wee at the beginning, I said, there's only one man. And if he says no, I'm going to cut Pee Wee from the show.
And then I'll get Justin to do it. That's what I was going to say. Okay.
No, and then you came in and nailed it.
Thank you, Jeff. It was an honor. And that's why we're best friends.
Fantastic.
Okay, here we are in front of Waxworks. I've been in this maze a million times, but I've never been inside with the lights on. I've never been inside where I could take my time and see everything. I'm pretty excited. I've never been inside with someone who's worked at Scary Farm for how many years?
This is my 30th Scary Farm.
30 years of Scary Farm?
Yeah.
Wow, you've been working here since before I was born. Whoa, watch out for Ghost Rider up there. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're going in.
Yeah, so let's okay. All these mazes have deep storylines that if the guest is not privy to, you get it sort of through osmosis, right? Our brains love to put stories together so they make sense.
Yeah. Oh, roller coaster.
So we're going into Waxworks. This is the Waxworks that's owned and operated by Augustus Scratch.
Okay.
He was a guy who really, his father was into the wax museum, but he didn't want to do that. He wanted to be a doctor. So he took a lot of classes to become a plastic surgeon.
Oh.
He was obsessed with he was obsessed with perfection. So he operated on these poor guys until they were mutilated and deformed. So he lost his medical license and had to go back slinking to his father and take over the family business.
Okay.
Here he decided to open the Waxworks Museum.
Don't worry about those.
And make them perfect, right? And what happened was he started using his plastic surgeon skills in the Waxworks and making the sculptures ultra realistic, a little too realistic. Maybe they have human bodies in them. And then one night, some kids broke in. He wasn't ready to open yet. Some kids broke in, set the place on fire. And while he was trying to fight the fire,
oh my gosh,
he stopped the kids. The place burnt to a crisp, but it's still usable. But he decided, now that I have these bodies, I'm gonna make some really good sculptures. So inside you'll see some of the displays that he refined from his father's day, and then some that he created using those bodies.
Okay.
That's
See,
the story.
I never knew there was so much story.
There's a big story to
and
Waxworks.
it explains a lot of this.
Yes.
Yeah, because I come to haunt and I just walk in. I'm
just
trying to
run
guess
in,
the story. I'm trying to, what's going on here, and try and piece it together.
Yeah.
I never knew there was so much attention to
This
detail
was put
going
together
on.
by a big team of people led by designer Daniel Miller.
Okay, well, thanks. Props. Shout out to Daniel Miller. We get to go inside, right?
Let's go.
Let's do it. Oh my gosh, there are bodies everywhere. By the way, we've got Tyler behind the camera. How you doing, Tyler?
Oh, I'm getting nervous and scared in this.
Oh yeah, I've never been through a haunt maze where somebody didn't pop out at me and make me drop to the ground and scream and cry. So this is the Burnt Waxworks.
Burnt Waxworks, and I have notes here because there's so much detail in this thing. I didn't want to miss anything. Last year we did something called the Beyond the Fog Tour.
Yeah.
So I took extensive notes from the designers themselves and incorporated into like a little planogram that you can go through.
Sort of what we're doing now, right?
Yeah,
Except for with the tour group, it
Yeah.
just sort of fizzled out, I guess, a little bit. Okay, wait, so how long does this normally take? How long does this normally take to like write these mazes, come up with these crazy stories, and then build them? Like how long in advance of a Halloween haunt would you start working on a
Well,
new
some of
maze?
these are started 2 to 3 years before the event happens.
Really?
Yeah, because they're incredibly involved, and sometimes an idea will show up on paper, but it won't hit the park till many years later.
I can't believe that.
I'm not a maze designer. I'm more of a maze contributor.
Right.
I like to look at the stuff that they're doing. And
You write a lot of stories.
Yeah, if they want my opinion, I'll help them. The only maze that I was really fully involved with was Trapped. And Trapped took 5 to 6 years to get from paper to
Really?
opening. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So what we're seeing when we walk through here in the dark and bumping into stuff is really the culmination of like sometimes years of work.
Years of work.
Okay, so here we are. This is it.
Okay, yeah. So now we're in the lobby. This is the ticket booth where you buy your ticket, and
She looks friendly.
Yeah, she's
Sleeping
all
on
right,
the job
right?
a little bit in there. This is so cool, and of course it reminds me of the whole Movie Land Wax Museum that
Yeah,
used to be down
which
the
is
street.
right down the street.
And famously, it burned down, and
Yeah,
they've discovered
so
all kinds of mutilated bodies in there.
This was originally slated to go into the arcade, then Wilderness Dance Hall, and then finally ending here, the former home of Trick or Treat. And if you look over here, like they've got the coming attractions of what you're going to see inside the waxworks.
I've never noticed that poster.
These are Scary Farm monsters, and that is an homage to Sandy Graham, who was a beloved vampire character here.
The
for
top
many
one
years.
right there?
Yeah, she passed away. She was a fixture in Dominion of the Dead and then The Labyrinth.
That is so cool. Oh, isn't there a tribute to her also on the big throne?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll have to show that when we go do the Legacy store one day. Okay, we're going inside the
Going in.
waxworks.
So
Look at that,
here's a
Tyler.
little display of puppets. I believe these are from Pinocchio Unstrung.
These puppets over here behind us. Check this. Look at this, Tyler. Okay, so a lot of the stuff in here could be recycled from other.
Oh yeah, we
previous mazes.
recycle all kinds of stuff. Absolutely.
I love that. Knott's is green before it was cool.
And then the mazes themselves are recycled in that when they finish their run, sometimes they're put in a truck and sent to some of our other parks.
I've never done this before, so I feel like kind of weird and awkward, a little nervous coming in here, especially because I've been through wax. How many years has Waxworks been here?
This is year 3, I believe.
Yeah, so I've been in here like 3 or 4 years in a row or whatever it
Yeah.
is, and so I'm used to things popping out of.
Well, the thing is, when you're here on a Scary Farm night, the whole point is to scream, yell, get
Right.
scared, and get to the next one.
Right.
You're never going to stop and go, I really want to see all the lore. But you can in the daylight. So the thing with Augustus Scratch, who's the owner of the Wax Museum,
Yeah.
he's creating these different masterpieces. And this is the first masterpiece that you can see. It's not a traditional, like we've got Marilyn Monroe
Right,
over
and
here.
she's a regular wax figure.
Yeah, but this is his masterpiece.
And what's the guy's name again?
Augustus Scratch.
Augustus
And then
Scratch.
in the maze.
Look at this, Tyler.
These actually work. They
Those little buttons.
They trigger events, either audio or I think this one revolves.
See, the first year we came through here, the first time, and it took us halfway through the maze, so I think Allie came and pushed one of these, and it started giving a spiel.
Something happened.
And
yeah.
I was like, what in the world? These little buttons actually work? Because normally it's like hands off
Hands
the maze.
off, don't touch, right?
But Knott started to get super interactive the last couple years. Yeah, so what the heck? Look at this. Look at this waxy, human, desiccated remains. You might see some disturbing stuff in here. Don't worry, everything is fake and family friendly.
It's all fake. And then you can see like Marilyn Monroe. We've got Audrey Hepburn from Breakfast at Tiffany's
Oh, I
here.
love that. Can I have her when
There's
the maze is done for
Lee's.
personal reasons?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Bruce Lee's down here.
And look at all the Hollywood letters. And see, that's what reminded me of the old wax museum down the road, Movie Land.
Yeah.
It's just the Hollywood thing. That had to be part of the inspiration.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
guessing.
I was there the weekend it closed, 2005.
Man, and it feels like it was longer ago than that. It was only 2005.
That was 18 years ago.
Look at
Justin.
this. Okay. Look at this, Tyler. Give us the POV shot as we come through here. There's all kinds of scary people in here.
Not only are the mazes built to be scary and in immersive environments, but they also have lots of safety rules.
Oh,
so
really?
There's emergency exits everywhere. There's always a way to get out in case there's a situation that you have to get out.
Yeah.
So it's all encompassing.
Dude, this is so freaking cool.
another button.
So we push this, and it starts talking about Washington crossing the Delaware. Look at Davy Crockett here, seen some better days. And then I know what happens in this maze is that there's 2 Benjamin Franklins standing here, identical Benjamin Franklins, and you don't know which one's going to move.
Right.
This guy moves, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm safe. And then, bam, double Benjamin Franklin all on your butt. That's what happens over here. So what are these? What are these things? I've never seen these in the dark.
These are foot activators for the lights.
Oh, so it'll
So
flash
lights and effects, yeah.
Oh
so the
my
actor can
gosh.
actually control how the scare progresses.
I never knew they had like foot pedals like a freaking guitar player inside of here.
Yes.
Do they have
yeah.
a shred?
They do shred.
Okay.
Excellent.
I love that he's got notes. And that's just because you're like, you don't want to get anything wrong.
No, I want to get it right. If your viewers are watching this, and I work here all year round, so I have shows in my head,
Right.
movie. I mean, I've
Well, you've
memorized
done Ghost Town
full
Alive.
Yeah.
You've done all kinds of stuff.
Minutia like this is in there, but I got to remember that by looking at it. So This is the tribute to America. We have another button here, like you said. What's interesting is, see this dummy here?
Yeah.
You can see his skull, right? But the actual form that they made that off without the skull, the full head,
Yeah.
Former employee.
Really?
Yeah, they cast him 1 year, and they use him all the time.
And then they just melt the face a little bit?
Melt the face.
What'd you call
put
him?
the
You
skull
called him
in-
a dummy? Jeff, we don't use that kind of language
Oh,
these
sorry.
days.
A non-living humanoid propoid.
Yes. Can I
Okay.
stand on this? Can I pretend that
Yeah,
I'm
of
Benjamin
course.
Franklin?
Get in
This
there.
is
Get it-
so
oh, yeah.
cool. Oh my gosh. He kind of stands. Man, he's shorter than I thought. He kind of stands here, and there's like boom. So he's popping a little foot switch. I never knew that. And then of course you got our 16th president, old Abraham Lincoln. I've seen better days. Mary got to light my face for a candle because we ran out of wicks and wax and whatnot. As long as John Wilkes Booth isn't in here, I think I'm safe. Okay, we'll move on.
All right, we'll move on.
Oh, look at this for the
Okay.
president in
Yeah.
case he visits.
Yeah, there
Right
he is.
here. Check that out.
And then what's interesting about Waxworks is we do the traditional Waxworks museum layout, right? But then for this instance, now you're going behind the scenes.
I love that.
So in a real museum, it would continue that way, right? But for ours, we're going to break the wall here and go through where the props are kept to make the wax figures.
I love this because it feels a lot smaller with the lights off. Like it feels endless, but it feels more cramped and just like when the fear isn't here that someone's gonna pop out at you.
Yeah.
It feels much more tight and claustrophobic. I love this thing because it's like an automaton. It like
Yeah.
leans forward.
She never takes a break.
When did the automatons start coming in the mazes? Because I've noticed Knott's is taking it up a notch, and there's like automatons in Dark Entities. There's automatons in here. Whatever. Did this one in Dark Entities start the same year? Or right
I'd
around
have
the
to
same
look at the
time?
date. It's close, yeah. It's
and
close.
and they both have like all these like automatons. I think
Yeah.
that's so cool.
What they do is there's a lot of big Halloween trade shows where you can go and see what the latest and greatest items
Yeah.
are. And Knott's will buy them, but then they'll modify them so that they're more homegrown for us.
I was gonna ask if you had like a shop here where people
Oh
are
yeah,
building this stuff all
we have,
year round.
We have geniuses here, and there's going to be some pieces later that I'm going to show. Like this was built by the geniuses here.
Okay, that's all. Whoa, look at this guy. He's a little. Look at that little Twilight Zone face action. This is a handsome gent. He looks like he's ready for a fun night out on the town. He's got his getup there. Look at all. Okay, so these are all the things that Augustus Scratch would be making the wax figures out of. But now we're breaking through the wall again.
Yes, so you can see the walls broken. The tour would have come through here
Yes.
from the Hall of Presidents, right? But we've broken through the wall to journey right to the Chamber of Horrors.
Look at this. Look at the freaking Chamber of Horrors. And then somebody stands in here, I know.
Monster stands in there. Looks like a wax figure.
And then look at this.
That's it. Yeah.
Now, were these recycled signs? Do you have?
Some of them, like I didn't point out, but the one in the Hollywood Room was from a wax museum.
Was
yes.
it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool. This is my favorite part. And what's cool is the mazes change every year. Is that on purpose or just stuff just break? Or
No, they sometimes will hand them over to a different designer to put a different stamp on it, and it's called plussing it. We like to plus the
I
mazes.
love that because when this first started, I noticed that Waxworks was more like the more of the mannequins were set up. They were in a little like sort of newer condition kind of thing. And as the years have gone by, it's like it's been abandoned for that many years. Like
Yeah.
it's even more disheveled. There's even more monsters and mutilated stuff. And look, somebody kicked this pumpkin in the face. Just kick that pumpkin in the face, Jeff Tucker. Was it you?
He was asking for it.
Okay. And look, we get to go inside the
Yeah,
Chamber
now
of
we're in the
Horrors.
Chamber of Horrors.
And there's the Invisible Man right there.
Yeah, he used to be standing up, but this is a brand new room here.
Yeah, they've changed everything because they used to have the Invisible Man and the Wolfman
So,
standing up.
Last year, that was the walking path. And
Okay.
this was a tableau.
You looked inside the
Yes.
bars.
And that's where Tyler is standing is where the Invisible Man was.
Okay. See, because sometimes I'm walking through in the dark and I'm like, wait, I remember.
Yeah,
this
your
being
mind
different.
says, I used to go that way.
Yeah,
And
it's effective because you're getting scared again, even though you've
yeah.
been through it 1,000
This is a
times.
brand new room. This is eyeball room.
Now, I did not notice when we were coming through in the dark
That these are
that
eyeballs.
these are eyeballs, and I was like, "Ooh, there's entrails everywhere." And now I see there's. Look at this, Tyler. Check this out. There's a. Look away, children. What? I can't even, I'm shaking because I'm laughing so hard. Okay, so that's cool too, because if you do get the Scary Farm Pass, which finally this year, thanks to Tyler, I snagged one.
Yes.
And you get to come back multiple nights, it's like I keep discovering these different layers of stuff. Wait,
Yeah.
is that George Washington? There he is! There's George Washington's face right there. All right. Ooh, what's going on with this guy? He looks sick.
He's regurgitating his own
Innards.
guts.
Yeah.
It's called recycling.
It's recycling.
like
It's
to
green.
recycle.
Oh, watch out for these. These were in the 1989 film Batman.
Yes.
I believe that's what they
Little Shop of Horrors as well.
They operated on the Joker with.
Now this. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's a Wolfman.
Yes.
That's all I was gonna say.
Now this is great here. This is an Easter egg that nobody ever finds. In the queue, they have monitors where they play.
So keep it secret.
They play a video of two young people going to the wax museum and never coming out.
Ooh.
If you watch the video and study it,
Two young people like us.
these are the people.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
So they're from the safety spiel.
Yes.
Or well, sort of the story spiel,
The setup.
really. Yeah, the setup.
Yeah.
And these are the kids.
Yeah, and you can tell that again, this is the same face as the guy in the boat because we just use it over and over again.
I love that it's a classic, like a horror movie trope. And my friend Tom Devlin, the Monster Museum
I've
out
been
there.
there.
He, you've been to the Tom
I
Devlin
loved
Monster
it. Yeah,
Museum?
but
It's cool.
from your recommendation.
He put me in one of his movies, and the whole premise is that there's a killer in an old haunt, and I'm the guy at the beginning, like YouTubing in there, and then I get killed. And it's like, oh, the YouTuber disappeared. Is it a trick, or whatever?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of the MacGuffin. I like that. And what about these plastic swords?
Yeah, well now we're entering the medieval torture
Look at
section.
the height of this thing. Did you get this from the set of Krull or?
Krull. It's a glaive.
Look at that. Okay, and that's one of my favorite ones. It's a little gory. Prepare yourselves. But I think this is actually Tyler's favorite too. The guy that gets pulled apart. What'd you say, Tyler?
It's not my favorite part, but
I think it might be your favorite
it's
part.
pretty gruesome.
Yeah, he's on the rack, and then the rack actually moves when
Yeah,
the
it
maze
actually
is on.
moves.
And the scream coming out of this one is insane. But what's cool is, this is like every wax museum ever. They'll have the little torture chamber, and they'll have all the stuff. So like the attention to detail is insane. And also these walls are awesome. I gotta ask you what they make this stuff out of. I know you might not know, but I just get fascinated with this.
This is something you buy and then you put it where you want it.
It's just so
It's a company that
cool.
makes it.
I've got to get that. I got to get that catalog, because when we build like the Midsummer Scream booths and stuff, we have no idea what we're doing. And we're like painting plywood, and we're really confused.
But it looked great.
Well,
Your
it looked
booth looked
okay.
great.
Yeah, you should see it now. Ooh. And this is a bad place to be headed. We won't talk about that. So we're still in the Chamber of Horrors, and this is super cool because there's all these S&M girls in here this year. Like they've got all this S&M gear
Yeah.
on and like whips and stuff. I don't know where you guys find all these flexible people, but there's like, I must have seen at least 5 contortionists this year. Like people who are legit bending themselves all the way backwards, crawling weird on the ground.
We have a very good audition process.
Man.
And we say bring your talents. And
When
they
does that
do.
start?
That's usually July
Seriously? It's that close? That's
or
awesome.
earlier. It depends on where we are in the system.
That's so cool. And I remember this guy because this was a spiel, and then he was electrocuted
Yeah.
and all this
And this
kind
is
of stuff.
masterpiece number 2. This is the
Oh.
candelabra. So this woman has been turned into a human candelabra.
And so these are the Augustus Scratch creations.
Yes, this is his journey to make perfection out of people.
I've never noticed the way that this storyline.
Yeah, Daniel put a whole story in here. It's great.
This is
and it
so
does progress.
cool. Okay, and now the scary room leading to the bees. Look at this. Look at all these props in here. I'm just tripping out because the lights are on. This is awesome.
Yeah. So this is a great scare prop.
Whoa! Scared me.
Yeah.
I need new shorts. Jeez.
The lights are on.
Okay, look at this. Check this out over here. Oh, so that's how they get in. I always wondered how they
Yeah,
get inside.
you wanna
of
get
these
in?
things. Yeah, kind of now. Hold on. I'm stuck. I'm stuck on the shelf. Help! Help on the shelf. And then they bang on these things. I've never been inside of one of these. You get in this during haunt, you're in big trouble. That's so cool. Have you ever been a scare actor in the mazes, Jeff?
I was on the streets for a couple of nights, but no, I've never been in a maze.
Like
I'm not-
homeless?
I'm not good enough.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I was
on
on
the
the
ghost
streets.
town streets.
I'm from the streets,
You worked here for 30 years.
Yeah.
And so did you start out doing haunt every year?
No, I started out in Ghost Town operations. I was Sad-Eye Joe.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no. And then the first Halloween season I worked, 94, my boss came and said, We're gonna put you in the saloon during Scary Farm. So we serve drinks in the Silver Dollar
The
Saloon.
old Silver
It's
Dollar.
not even there anymore.
Yeah, the shooting gallery now.
Yeah.
That is so cool. So
yeah.
you were doling out boysenberry punch?
Boysenberry Punch, and all the monsters hated us because we had the lights on. So every night about 9:30, they'd go home.
I
We
used
don't
to
want you
sit
here.
in that saloon. Oh my gosh, starting 1996. So you might have still been in there for
Yeah.
all I know. And I would go in the saloon, I'd get the boysenberry punch, and then just because I was scared.
It was great.
I was a little bit scared. And
So
nervous.
here's some recycled stuff here. This cat is from the log ride when they did the rehab of the log
no
ride.
kidding.
That's an original Bud Hurlbut cat taxidermy from the log ride.
That looks disgusting.
Yeah. This pig head is from Ghost Town Street.
Can I touch it?
Yeah. I think it was a mask.
Whoa.
And then this tiger head behind you is from Trapped.
Wow.
The third year of Trapped, you had to reach in there and find a key.
See, I never did that one. I've never done escape rooms because I get a little bit sweaty and worried that I'm going to get stuck somewhere. Just someone telling me that I might get stuck, and it all stems back to a story. I used to climb inside the laundry hamper and pop out and scare my brother. And I climbed inside the laundry hamper, the old wicker laundry hamper, and the lid fell, and the laundry hamper fell over in the hallway with the lid against the wall, and I was stuck in there, and nobody came for like maybe 10 minutes. But 10 minutes to a trapped child in a laundry
That's
bath.
eternity.
That's a long time. So when I saw the maze Trapped, or the thing, I was like, I don't think that's not the one for me.
Not
I
for
don't
you.
think that's the one for me.
So then behind you is Spydora. There's a new one of these on the boardwalk this year. This is an homage to the original Spydora from the 1970s.
Wow.
What's great is that you can actually go online and see the original Spydora. It was Julie Owens. It was my boss, the head of entertainment for a while.
Really?
And she said it was the worst job she ever had here because they would reveal her as this spider body with her head, and she would go, "Feed me," and they would feed her. It was very demeaning, but hysterical.
And we should mention, I can't believe I haven't mentioned this yet. This is the 50th year of Not Scary Farm.
50th year.
Now,
yeah.
I'm confused.
50th Scary Farm.
It's the 50th Scary Farm.
'Cause we skipped one.
So it's the 51st year.
51st year.
Okay. So this changes
No, it's
the
the
math.
50th year and the 50th Scary Farm because the math is so hard to do.
It's very
when you
confusing.
start an event, you start at 1. A child starts at 0 and gets to 1. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
So 73
Sort of.
was the first Scary Farm.
73, and it's 2023.
We should be on year 50, Scary Farm 51, but because of the shutdown,
Oh, we're on
both.
year 50, and oh my gosh, okay. Hopefully that made sense to
Put
you.
that on the screen with that. You know that
All the
woman
math-
that's doing
yeah, the-
computations
the
meme?
math.
Yeah.
We'll get our editor Jared. Shout out to Jared who edits the Random Land on Locations to put something there, some math there. So
There you go.
there's Jared's fine work.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
We're
This is it.
entering the B room.
This is Allie's least favorite thing in the world. It's huge.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, it seems so much smaller when there's all these people walking through and there's a guy screaming at you. I was screamed at many times in this maze already this year.
Okay, so we're in the B chamber where he gets his wax, so it's all natural.
Oh, I never
And
even thought about
I have
that.
to read this. This room evokes trypophobia, which is a disgust or fear of a pattern of holes.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember when the new iPhone came out and it had too many holes and it made people uneasy?
I thought I had one, but I gave it to Tyler. Yeah, all the phones.
Yeah.
And people always put those pictures of the seed pods,
Yes.
right? And they
I don't like
Photoshop the
looking
seed
at 'em.
pods on people's faces. I don't like it
No,
either.
it's an immediate revulsion because of something back in our genealogy history
Yeah.
where we were taught
That's
to
like the
stay away
plague or
from
the
that.
pox or something.
You don't want that in your life.
You know what's weird? So we went to competitors' haunted area, and they have a little haunted tram tour. And there's a character on it that has the holes in the face the whole
Ooh,
time.
no.
But the writing was really funny, and I think I told you, I was like, I thought you wrote it. I thought you were like moonlighting for another place. So somebody's been watching Knott's very carefully.
Yeah.
But this is why I like Knott's versus other haunts. Okay, there's some other haunts where it really feels like you're walking into a movie, you're walking into an IP. There's other haunts that feel really homegrown and they're just sort of random. I worked at one. It was over at Camelot. It was a charity one as a teenager, and I was Yoda in a swamp room. It just made no
Nice.
sense at all, right? And but what it's cool about Knott's is it feels like a home haunt, feels homegrown, but obviously on a huge scale,
Yeah, much bigger scale.
But the writing and the creativity is like off the charts.
Well, when you're not stuck to an IP, which
Yeah.
is intellectual property, a movie or a TV show, which we've done here before,
Yeah.
totally great. But when you're not having to adhere to whatever that is, your mind, your imagination runs wild.
And I imagine that also puts more chefs in the kitchen. Like if you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
were going to do a grudge maze again or whatever, then somebody that's involved in that property
Somebody
is going
has to sign off on it.
we don't like this, we don't
Yeah.
like that. And you guys just get to keep plussing it and changing it
Yeah.
and creating
This is
story every
ours.
year. This is so cool.
So in here, there are digital projections of bees flying around, which is
Yeah.
great.
And the noise.
And the noise,
Allie's
yeah.
favorite thing. Look at the size of this bee right there. Is that the queen bee?
Absolutely.
That's just a straight Huell Hauser question. I was channeling my inner
You do
Huell
Huell,
right
let's hear
there.
it.
Oh my goodness! Louie, look at this! Now, is that the queen bee or is that the king bee?
And then the guy.
I don't know what the difference between a queen bee and a king bee is.
The guy
Let me
in the
turn
show-
you over
Oh
here
my
violently
God.
like
Oh
Huell.
my God.
What are you going to say?
I was like, the guy in the show would go, yes.
Look at this. You grew up here. You grew up in Southern California.
Yeah.
In Norwalk, right?
Norwalk, yeah.
So you must have come to Scary Farm as a youth, I'm guessing, as a wayward youth?
It was a rite of passage.
Yeah.
There's that year when your mom finally says, yes, you can go to Not Scary Farm.
Now, was there ever a solid rule that you had to be 13, or was that just my mom?
No, it's always suggested.
Okay.
We suggest. But the real hindrance to that
I
is-
knew it was you, Mom. She was always like, you're not allowed to go till you're
Oh, yeah,
13.
no.
You're not allowed to go till you're 13. I know you are, but what am I, you know?
we suggest 13 and up.
Yeah.
But you can bring anybody you want. Everybody has to have a ticket.
And wear a no boo necklace.
You can
and
wear a
won't
no
get-
boo
You won't
necklace.
get scared. We know. Jeff has feelings about the no boo necklace. If you'd like to know about them, watch the hanging. Look at
Okay,
this.
So this is where Augustus lives.
Oh, no way.
This is Augustus's apartment.
I've never connected that story. Like, okay, the wax is getting wax from the
Yeah.
bees. I sussed that out.
No.
But this is so cool.
Yeah, he lives here. So we have our homage. Looks like 7 in here with all his cutouts. These are original drawings by Daniel Miller for the maze. You can see them back there.
Those are so cool. Okay, so those are like concept drawings.
Yeah.
Hidden within the maze itself. Now, I like that because it's sort of like Augustus Scratch is like planning out his creations or whatever. I'm looking for Scully and Mulder somewhere on the wall. This also reminds me of a movie no one ever saw called Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson.
Yeah, it's a Richard Donner movie.
Okay, you saw that
Yeah, of
movie,
course.
right?
Patrick Stewart.
There's a great scene in that movie that is the most realistic thing I've ever seen in a movie. I'm going to tell the story 1,000 times on this channel in various videos. There's a scene where they get into Mel Gibson's apartment. He's burned the place up to escape. And they're looking down the trapdoor. He escaped, and Patrick Stewart looks down. There's another FBI guy that shines a flashlight in his face, and he goes, "Do you mind?" For no reason. Like, it's just a little... the movie didn't need it, but it's just great because that's like a realistic thing. Do you mind? It's great. Anyway.
I love it.
Sorry. That's
I
apropos
love
of nothing.
movies. So then we have this.
Oh, and is this his toilet?
That's his toilet. Yeah, there we go.
You don't want to look in that toilet. Don't do it, Tyler. Do it, though. But don't do it. But don't do it. Don't do it, Tyler. Don't. Okay. Okay, look. Get ready, everyone. Oh, somebody stepped in poopy.
And we have our.
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
And it's not, so they won't make us edit that out.
Yeah. This is a lampshade made out of human skin,
Oh,
inspired by Ed Gein.
Yeah, a whole
The
Ed
real
Gein
serial killer.
Leatherface thing. And then look at that. That is disgusting, man. I've heard of putting honey in your coffee.
But this is ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's just out of control. Oh, and then he's got a nice, lovely goat head above his sleeping quarters.
Yeah.
You know, the more I walk through here, the more I respect Augustus Scratch as an artist and yet revile him as a human being. Look at this.
Yeah, this is beautiful. This is lit at night. It looks amazing. This is a testament to the people that work behind the scenes here, the production team.
Will
Like,
someone sketch this out and then you guys have to find props?
Yeah. Daniel will say he wants a dollhouse here.
Really?
And then they'll go and find one and build it and light it and distress it.
Because I've always wondered that, or whether it was all like, okay, we've got to find this stuff, or it's like, sort of, here's what we have. Have you ever done a maze like that with so many recycled parts? Or like, here's what we can do.
Yeah, that was called Dark Realm.
Really?
Dark Realm was what do we got? And it was not very popular.
But most of the time, it's like
these are
scratch built.
meticulously built from scratch from the ground up.
I can kind of remember in the 90s, like, the mazes being a lot more simple. And then
Yeah.
for some reason, especially in the late 20 teens into now, it's especially when I saw Dark Entities and Waxwork, it must have been the same year, and the depths, they blew my
Yeah.
mind because they all look purpose-built.
What happened is, before then, most of the haunted houses you would go to were from the Kiwanis, the
Right.
JCs,
Right.
right? And they're called Haunt Stew. You go in there, you see Frankenstein, you see Dracula.
You see Yoda.
Right, you see Yoda, right? And we didn't have those here, but what we had were the leftovers from that idea where we're going to build a big room with a scary thing in it, but to get from one room to another, it's just a black hallway.
Right.
Right. In the early 2000s, a maze called Malice in Wonderland was one of the first mazes to say, what if all of those transition hallways were part of the maze? And they painted every inch of it. And that became like the gold standard.
That was
Let's
here?
do that. That was here. That was in the bumper cars.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about that. Yeah, there's no black hallways with just
No.
people popping out at you. It's like every square inch of all the new mazes is like out of control.
The mantra was every step counts.
Man.
Make every step count. Every step scary. No breaks. No, like, oh, I got out of that room. I'm alive. No.
See,
it's all bad.
We connected and became friends because you not only work here, but you love Knott's Berry Farm. Like, you're always saving pieces of history whenever you can, stopping
Absolutely.
things from getting torn down or thrown away or whatever. And I love that about you. And Knott's has always kind of felt like the underdog, given that we're only a few miles from a bigger park infested with rodents. And I love that. It's like the progenitor of all the stuff. Because the Scary Farm, I mean, it is the original theme park haunt, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the
There was
granddaddy
nothing
of
before
all
this.
of them. And
There were hay rides and apple cider.
Right.
But there was nothing that said everything's going to be scary when you go in there.
And it felt like for years that it was like, maybe Knott's had lagged behind for a little while or something. And then it's like on top now. It's like we're the OG, we're the Grandmasters.
We do try.
We're taking this town by storm.
There's a lot of pride. I mean, look around. There's a lot of pride in here of people who say,
Yeah.
good enough isn't. We want to make it better,
Look
bigger.
it's everywhere. The dripping wax on everything. I mean, every surface is covered with stuff. There's doll parts. But
It's all in the details.
It's so cool. Okay, let's move on. Tyler, you can walk through there. Walk through there behind Jeff Tucker. Ooh, look at this, everybody. Look at this guy. This guy's hardcore, dude. He got screwed big time. You see what I did there, Jeff Tucker?
I did. And I should tell you, this is a tiny little homage to Doll Factory, but it stands on its own. And some of these dolls have been known to move by themselves.
I don't like that at all.
That's true. We've heard that from more than one person working in here.
Okay, and then behind Tyler is this mirror over here. Check this out, guys. I noticed that the first night that it says, "I'll stop the world and melt with you." Did that change every year?
No, that's been there since the beginning.
I just never remember seeing it until this year, and I saw that, and I laughed out loud right here.
You were too busy running and screaming.
I think the poor doll lady in here thought I was laughing at her. You did a fantastic job, doll lady. I just want to let you know that. It was just that I thought "I'll stop the world and melt with you" was pretty funny, because I laugh at puns continuously. Okay,
Okay.
here we go. This is it, the chamber.
This is the big finale here. This is where all the masterpieces are made. This was when I talked about like letting the craftsmen go crazy.
Yeah.
This is an example. Daniel said,
Look at
I
the
want a
shot.
big sculpture here, but I'm not sure exactly what it is. Here's an idea.
Yeah.
And then one guy went to town and built this. And it's fully
Really?
animated. It moves back and forth.
Yeah, this thing, the first time I saw that, I just screamed. It's like,
Yeah.
look at the size of this thing. I
It
mean,
reminds me of something from The Thing.
it's huge and awesome. Look at the little faces on there everywhere.
And then if
Oh,
you're
the
in,
eyeballs are. Look at the eyeballs, dude. They're like, I don't know if you can see that one, Tyler, way up there. They all have eyeballs, like glass-looking eyeballs.
if you're in the B room and you know to look, you could actually get a preview.
It's so creepy. Okay, so now is the guy we meet in here Augustus Scratch?
I think there's 2 or 3 Augustus Scratches in there.
Okay, and
yeah.
he has got the apron
Yeah,
on.
he's the one
screaming
built-
at you,
yeah.
get out of here. Because that's how the beekeeper is.
Yeah.
I've never known if they were all one character or multiple characters, but there's a beekeeper in here who just screams, like, look at the bees. As soon as you look, he's like, keep moving, get out of here. I like that Knott's is a little rude.
Well, it's supposed to be scary.
Farm. Yeah, Scary Farm people, the monsters are a little rude. You know, monsters are less friendly than you'd expect. How'd you guys get the rights to use Darth Maul?
Well, Ray Park wasn't busy, so we asked him.
Okay, this is awesome. This is so freaking cool. So what's on right now, this is in a building, I noticed.
Yeah, we're in a warehouse.
What was this building for?
This warehouse was built to house mazes.
Really?
Yeah, trick or treat.
So Knott's is purpose building backstage mazes.
Yeah.
How long have there been mazes in this backstage sort of area?
It's been about 10 years or so.
Okay, 'cause-
what happened was, if you came to Scary Farm through the 90s, early 2000s, the park was heavily impacted. Fiesta Village Plaza
Right.
was a maze. The bumper cars was a maze. We've even had mazes in the front of the park. Toon Territory was in the marketplace back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And our general manager, vice president, at one point said, "Look, we want guests to be able to come to the park and see a beautiful Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah.
If they're not coming to Knott's Scary
In the
Farm.
daytime,
yeah.
right.
So let's move all of the mazes to areas where you got to go find them.
Yeah.
And they're not so visible. So that's what created the backstage areas and the
Okay.
mazes that are kind of off the beaten path.
Because when that started, I was like, was this always like this? Am I
No, it
going
wasn't always like
crazy?
that. No, the mazes used to be in your face, right there.
I'm going to ask you another Mandela effect question, and I ask everybody this to see if it's just me or we all remember the same thing. But wasn't Knott's Berry Farm during the day during this time? Wasn't that Knott's Scary Farm? And then at night it was Halloween Haunt? Or is that me misremembering it?
Yeah, you're putting
I'm mixing things
yeah.
together. So it was always Knott's Spooky Farm during the daytime?
Yeah, well, it was usually the first time we did that was in the '90s, Camp Spooky.
Yeah,
and it
okay,
was just
that's
up
what I'm
front.
remembering.
Camp Spooky was just in Camp Snoopy. Then it morphed into why not use Ghost Town since the background is the backdrop is
Yeah.
so good. Then that became Spooky Farm. But what the event used to be called was Knott's Scary Farm's Halloween Haunt.
Right, okay. So you always did the pun. The pun was always there.
The pun was always
but
there,
Halloween
from
Haunt.
day one.
Because I grew up just calling it Haunt, and so I have a tendency to keep saying Halloween Haunt all the time. But now it's officially Not Scary Farm.
Yes.
That is the
And
marketing.
that's to keep it where we are.
Not
we are not
specific.
Scary Farm. We do have other parks in the Cedar Fair Company that are Halloween haunts,
Right.
but they can't claim Scary Farm. That's us.
50
So let's
years.
keep that in the family here.
Awesome. Okay, now we keep going. There's a lot of flaps. A lot of flaps. That's to keep things sanitary. Come this way. Walk this way, will you? Through the flaps. And then this is my maybe favorite room. When I first saw this, I was blown away.
This is Daniel Miller's idea of small room, big room to overwhelm the senses. You just came from what you thought was the finale. There's a
Yeah.
big thing there. The maze must be over. But then you enter a room that's way bigger than you thought we could have here.
Yeah, dude, look at the size of this place. And it's weird because this is the one room with the lights on that actually feels smaller.
Yeah.
Like there's some-
because you can see where it ends.
Yeah, the lighting in here, and at night you can't see where the ceiling is.
Yeah, I
And so it just feels huge, like you're in this massive warehouse. I'm really appreciating coming through with the lights on how much lighting design goes
Yeah.
into the mazes
Lighting,
when you walk through.
props, music, actors.
This girl is, look at her. She's just ready to get in the wax.
This is from Doll Factory. This was the finale of Doll Factory.
I love that. I love that there's
Repurposed
so
here.
many Easter eggs in it. You see? And I never had the book until this year. I finally got the book.
You got the-
So I can finally learn about Scary Farm. Because I never retained the information on like old mazes. So I sort of half remember everything. Because I'm like going through new mazes, and I just...
Well, someone like me, I work here, so I'm at the inception of these mazes through production of
right.
them.
So you've got them memorized.
A guest who comes in one night, it's designed to be overwhelming.
It's so cool. And then there's the big vat where you got an actor inside of the vat.
Yeah, they have to go around back and hide in there.
This is so
This
cool.
one tilts and liquid comes out.
I love that. Yeah, that's so cool. So look at, if you guys have never seen one of my Scary Farm Random Land Frights episodes, there's water in here or something with colored lights. It's spilling everywhere. That blew my mind the first year. Now I can see there's like plexiglass to stop it from spilling. But you can't see that stuff in the maze. When you're coming through, you're like, oh my gosh, this stuff
Yeah.
gonna get on
but
me.
your brain registers some of it, so it tells you danger, get out, danger.
And then you got Augustus Scratch, I'm assuming. He's the guy out here on the gantry.
Yeah,
And
yelling
there's
at the
usually
victim.
someone in here screaming their head off. This is so cool.
Yeah, and here's a good example of taking an off-the-shelf skeleton and making it a one-of-a-kind piece for the maze.
This
This
is
is
all actual
layer
wax.
after layer of foam and rubber and hard work and dedication to make it something your brain would only register briefly.
It's so cool. I can't believe how much work goes into this stuff. Look at the track system up there, all bent and broken. Look, it's broken. And where do you guys even get stuff like this? It's
A
so
lot of this
cool.
industrial stuff we get from prop houses, or if there's a renovation on farm and we can salvage it, we will salvage it.
That's so awesome. Okay, so this is the last room, right? I think.
This is the exit tunnel.
Where's the exit? Oh, that's it right there.
No,
That's not
we
it.
go this way.
I'm so confused. I'm so lost.
Go this way.
How do you know your way around here so well?
Repetition, my friend.
I never saw this. I will meld you in my image. And this is where I'm usually just like, okay, I'm out and I'm running for my life. and then I forget that people are going to pop out from here.
They're still monsters. Now, this is the finale of the maze, finale hallway. And if you're paying attention, which is hard to do at night, these molds theoretically are going to close on you and make you part of the wax museum.
So cool. That is so cool.
This is an example of an off-the-shelf prop that we bought, and you can see he's wearing underwear because he arrived to us anatomically correct.
Yeah.
So we had to deal with that.
Okay. Have you ever noticed this? You're walking through a mold. All
We have
right.
these molds here. Remember those Disney melting wax things?
Yeah.
Moldorama.
They also had, oh yeah, the Moldorama
That's
machines.
what this looks like to be.
And then they
Moldorama.
also have, like, you remember those like creepy things you make like gummies and stuff like
the
toys?
creepy crawler oven.
Yeah, the creepy crawler oven
Yeah.
and stuff. That's what it reminds me of. Or Play-Doh. And then this is it, the last body. There's always, I don't know when the hanging bodies in the mazes started, but it always fills me with dread every year.
Yeah.
Like a little weight to
You
it.
can't get around it.
No. Well, you can, like this. See what I did there?
I saw you did it.
I did it. Okay.
So that will lead to the exit.
Ah, what a fun one. All right, Jeff Tucker, that was the coolest thing ever. I'm going to put my plugs. You can look down in the description for all my links, randomland.com. And now, tell us about Scary Farm.
Subscribe.
Smash the
that
like.
notification bell.
Okay, but Knotts, how do people come to Scary Farm? When's it happening? Where is it happening?
It's
Where do you get
happening
tickets?
right now, every weekend through October 31st, Thursday through Sunday. Select Wednesdays, go to knotts.com, buy tickets, buy souvenirs, get a pass and come every night and be here with us and live among the fog.
There's still Scary Farm passes out there.
There's like 10, hurry, don't delay, do
Hurry,
it right
get the
now.
Scary Farm pass. If you can't get the
Pause-
Scary Farm pass,
Pause the video,
That's true. Pause
go
it.
buy the pass, come back, hold the pass up to the camera, up to the screen.
Hold the pass right there.
Yep.
You can hold it next to mine.
Something will happen.
Something will probably happen. If you can't get this and it's sold out, don't worry. You can get a regular Knott's Berry Farm season pass for 2024.
Yeah.
And if you have the season pass, they send you an email and they let you know, hey, by the way, the haunt passes are coming back for next year. It's the only reason I got mine this year because I
Stay informed.
wasn't staying informed because I turned off the emails. Sometimes you shouldn't do that. It turns out sometimes you should keep the emails going, you know?
Hit notifications.
All right, I know you have to get back to work.
Anything else you want about waxworks?
Thanks you so
Thank
much
you.
for letting me do Pee-wee. Thanks for working so hard on Haunt for all these years and all this stuff. And thanks for being a
All right.
swell guy, Jeff
Absolutely,
Tucker.
you're a
One
friend.
day, by the way, we want to come to your house and see the Tucker Mansion.
Sure.
Jeff Tucker has the most insane collection of action figures on the West Coast ever. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
It's cool. It's cool. It's overwhelming. It's worse than my office.
It
It's
is
awesome.
overwhelming.
All right, guys. See you later.
See you in the fog.
Copyright Knotts. Forever.